Hi guys, welcome to the Savvy Man Show with me, your host Sean. If you find any of today's entertainment helpful, don't forget to smash the lovely like button. Helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting the video out to more people. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, don't forget to hit that subscribe button until it turns your thumb as red as the button. And don't forget the bell notification, you'll be notified when a new video gets uploaded. If you're looking for a free trading platform on which to trade your stocks and shares, don't forget to look in the links in the description below. You get a free share worth up to £200 for signing up and depositing £1 to £100 depending on which app you choose. Now on with the show, and thank you for giving up your precious time for watching this video. We are discussing tankers because I've had a couple of questions. I've had a few people who are new to the channel who haven't seen previous videos where I've gone in depth with these things, so sorry if I'm going over old ground. Now, Scorpio Tankers announces an update on daily TCE rates. Now, these are for the quarter ending, these are for the quarter ending the second quarter and for the third quarter. We then go to and partners, where it's got the shipping rates for the VLC, LCs and Suezmax and the LR2s, and you see well that's it. Now they're telling us what the average rate is for 2020 and what the trend is, and you can see the spot earnings has dropped from an average of 90,000 to 44,800 for the VLCs. Suezmax from 49,000 to 12,000, and the LR2s from 50,000 to 18,500. So if you remember, I did say that Q3 was going to be worse. Q3 is always historically a worse month. It is, sorry about that. Q3 is historically a worse month. It is, always has been, and you add to that the fact that lockdown has ended and people will start using oil again. You have governments trying to prop up their oil industries by stockpiling oil for the future. Then that brings down the spot price. Now, that being said, if we look at the average monthly VLCC rate since 1990, and that's a 30-year chart, it has only hit 45,000 in the first quarter and in the fourth quarter. Now this year, as you well know, I mean, I stated at the beginning, first quarter and fourth quarter are traditionally the best quarters. As you know, the second quarter has been the best quarter because of the contango. Now, that isn't over yet, a long shot. it's not as bad as the second quarter. Now, if 45,000 is the average rate, as I stated before, and companies like DHT, Frontline and Euronav could make profits at that rate, then when the spot rates are that amount or above that amount, then they will continue to make profits. The one you've got to worry about are the ones who don't own VLCCs, the ones who own LR2s and Suezmaxes. So Suezmaxes drop below, but however, we are going to go into Joachim's state. Now, this is a guy who's well known in the tanker industry. He's known to be bearish, and he said VLCC around 50k is very strong, but there are a few fixtures being done these days. Expect rates to fall to OPEX minus 8k in the near term, unless something happens like US sanctions. Most other ship classes are already close to OPEX. Now, basically what he's saying is he expects shipping rates to fall to 8k, which would be bad because it costs 8k to manage them a day, and you won't be making profit. It will actually cost you money. And when he's saying most other ship classes are already close to OPEX, it's what I said already a couple of weeks ago. It's what I said earlier about the Suezmax and the like. Now we go to something else. We expect all tankers spot rates to plummet in concert with asset and share prices. A tentative VLCC spot rate forecast for second half 2020 is now only 15k a day, which is extremely low given fourth quarter represents high season. Cleves stated in the tanker note yesterday. Now, 15k a day is very low. As I said, these are bearish Now, the takeaway is that order book versus fleet is currently at its lowest since 1996, and contracting is predicted to stay depressed in coming years amidst a weak earnings environment. Scrapping will also likely stay elevated. Cleve said it sees the potential for a tanker super cycle developing from mid-2022 and into 2023 as tanker demand recovers and fleet supply stays close to zero. Now, I don't know if you watched my previous videos, you will have seen one where it showed with NAT doing well in a few quarters and then not doing well for a year, and then in 2022 to 2023 doing well, and that kind of backs this up. And I think I got the wrong one. Yeah, got the wrong one. Now, this is the order book versus age of VLCC. You'll see that the order book of new tankers is at a multi-decade low, while the average age is at the highest it's been in more than 2 decades. If you have seen, and this is from Euronav, and they're usually on the ball, that's a company that sold a used tanker for more than a new tanker goes for at a height. Now, you will see this is a percentage of the fleet rather than just. If you saw a previous video, you'll see how much it costs per tanker depending on the age of the tanker, so to get recertified and that. So obviously the shipbuilders are jacking up their prices as well. Now I said how tanker prices were low, were reaching a low. A few people unsubscribed on the back of that. A few people hit the dislike button on the back of that. But just to show you what I meant in comparison, it's in comparison to the amount of money they've brought in. You've got to factor everything in. You've got to reevaluate, because they've brought in a huge amount of money on their books, the price to book and everything. You've got to value the whole company, not just compare it to a couple of years ago. You wouldn't compare Facebook or Amazon now to how it was 2 years ago and say, oh well, it's Facebook or Amazon, and then say with a tanker stock, well, it was £2 a share like a couple of years ago, or £2 a share pre-COVID-19, or Roni Rona for our friends across the pond. Now, Fidelity Investments, which is a huge investments platform, acquires a 10% stake in DHT Holdings. Now, and I have another investor that I pulled up, GN, Toro has been notified following listing, and it's sorry, I'm trying to get this, so you can tell the Torm have been listed. Global News Shire put this out. Torm PLC have been notified. There's been transaction in the shares from another investment platform, Calgreen. Let me see. Sorry, I think it's Oak Tree. Sorry, Oak Tree Capital Group. Calgreen didn't, and this OCM Mule Holdings. Now, they have increased their stake in it. They have, if you look down there, 69% voting rights. Now, it's just so many of them, because of the money they've brought in through the second quarter, it has just either wiped off their debt. If they have played it right, it has wiped off their debt, or set them up for the third quarter loss, and for some of them for next year, so they can satisfy next year downturn. It's all about whether or not you have the patience. If you have the patience to stay in for a couple of years, then fine, you hold it. Me, what I did was I sold when I saw what was happening. I sold when it hit 550. I made a profit. If you remember, I had NAT. I sold it when in DHT EuroNav Frontline. When I made a profit on Frontline, I sold it, collected dividends. I still have EuroNav DHT. NAT dropped to just over $4. I sold it when it hit $5.50. It dropped again recently. I re-evaluated it for purposes of video, and I saw all the naked puts going in, and that was a video that got criticised. The calls haven't increased at all. The puts have, and have surpassed the calls. So unless the puts were put in by people who already own calls, then we're going to have a short squeeze again. So I picked up some NAT at a cheap price, and I will keep hold of that. I can hold on to it for a couple of years. I will increase my stake in DHT, and I'll be looking at Euronav, maybe increasing my stake. I may even look at Scorpio and reevaluate them. But I will try and put the interview with the Scorpio CEO down in the description. The thing about him is he's saying how tanker rates are falling and how it's bad. So even though, you got to realise he's acting on the bearish sentiment, because at the moment, not all CEOs, some of them, they're trying to get some of these swing investors out and some of these institutions involved, and they've seen how the investors they call Robin Hood investors, who don't do their research, actually harm the share price. Because you see some retail investors coming out of the company who have been in it for a long while because of the report I spoke about, and I'll put up a copy of, well, I didn't put a copy of the report. What I did was I took the figures from the report and put it up previously of how many Robin Hood investors were in which stock, and retail, and I knew retail investors who were bullish on NAT, some on DHT and so on, and they've come out, pulled their money, because they're worried that all these Robin Hood investors are going to drive it up or they're going to drive it down, and it's just going to cost too much to them. Now, so sometimes you'll get, when third quarter is traditionally at its lowest anyway, they will come out with these sentiments, hoping to drive these people who don't do their research out of the market, so that the people who do their research look at it and say, well, traditionally it is at a low anyway, so we'll stay in. You've made enough money from the first and second quarter to sustain you through this until you get to the fourth quarter, which will be another high. And even if the fourth quarter isn't as high as you expect, it will sustain you, and they will come back in. Now, this holding will be a big boost. Fidelity will be a massive boost. On top of that, I will expect to see another investment company come in, or an upgrade once if share prices drop any further, or if anything changes. Of course, anything can change. You have the embargo on Venezuela. They could extend that. They could start I said about the CEO of NAT, what he said, they could start, they've already done an embargo to 2 Greek tanker companies. They could start with any company and start saying, we've gone into your company records and so many years ago you dealt with Venezuela. Yeah, but you don't know what's going to happen. The thing is, as I said, if this is causing you sleepless nights, don't buy it anymore at a low price. If this is causing you sleepless nights, you better not go into it. If it's not, if it's a kind you can put in a drawer and leave it, good. Collect the dividends, great. Now, for us in the UK, I don't know if it was the same for the US, NAT not only gave us a dividend 11th of June, we got a dividend yesterday as well, special dividend yesterday. I'm not sure if you did in America or not, but anyway, I hope you leave a like and subscribe. Leave me a comment whether you agree or disagree with me. If you didn't understand anything, then comment, don't just dislike like some people have in the past. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.